Welcome back to the Sanders Kitchen. I'm Mike, and today we're going to be doing a great soup, just a very simple soup called Tomato Basil Soup. Now what's really cool about this is that I'm going to make the tomato basil soup, and then Pam's going to come on and she's going to show you how to make a terrific grilled cheese sandwich to go with it, and that's what's going to be for supper. So I cannot wait to get this thing started. Let me show you what's in the recipe for the tomato basil soup. It's a great recipe. It's very simple, and that's what I like about it. It's simple. We have some diced tomatoes. We have, by the way, everything's going to be in the description, all the amounts and everything. I always put the recipe there, so go look for it. So we're going to be using diced tomatoes. We have some fire roasted tomatoes. Yum. We're going to have garlic and onion. That's how we're going to start. We have some cream. We're going to finish it off with the cream. We have a little oregano, salt and pepper, some cayenne pepper, some fresh basil, and this right here in this mixing bowl is our vegetable stock. And of course, we also have some really high quality olive oil to start the recipe. So let's start cooking. We're going to start by adding in some really good olive oil. Watch this. I'm just going to cover the bottom of that pot. Hey, 2-3 tablespoons, I don't know. I'm not going to measure it. Drop that on the floor. Okay, I already had the fire on. I wanted to kind of get it warmed up a little bit. So let's go ahead in with the onions. Now, what we're going to do is saute the onions until they get nice and soft. You know the routine. If you don't, let me help you out a little bit. We're going to already add in the salt and pepper. That's only like a half a teaspoon. It's mixed. So we'll go ahead and stir that around, and we'll saute the onions for maybe 4 or 5 minutes until they get nice and soft and nice and sweet. All right, so give me a few minutes to let that caramelize. Be right back. Oh man, take a look at those onions. They're beautiful. Nice and soft. They're actually kind of browning a little bit. Man, that's beautiful. I know they're going to taste great. It's about now I'm going to add in my garlic. Now my garlic's whole. And if you take a look at that garlic, I want you to notice it's a little discolored. It's not like really white, and that's because I buy a big bag of whole garlic and I just stick it right in the freezer. I get it from the club, the Sam's Club. Anyway, I just pull it, and for this recipe, I'm just putting it whole because we're going to be using the immersion blender later. So right now, I'm just going to swirl that around a little bit. And now we're going in with the fire roasted tomatoes. Look how red. Wow, look how pretty that is. Oh, does that smell good? Yes, indeed. That smells wonderful. So I'm going to turn my fire up a little bit because I'm going to add in a small can of diced tomatoes, and then I'm going to add the big can in. While I'm adding, I want to tell you that it really makes a difference what type of tomato you use. If you use, it's not a matter of will it taste bad. It's a matter of will it taste better using the San Marzano tomatoes, plum tomatoes. And you know what? This is not San Marzano plum tomatoes, but I got to be honest with you. I smelled them and I tasted them, and they taste pretty good, so I'm not really afraid to just buy some canned tomatoes. These are from Italy, so. All right, so where are we now? Well, we could easily go ahead and add in, I think it's a teaspoon of oregano. Now, you don't want to overdo the oregano, because if you do, it's going to taste really like big time oregano, okay? And you just want a little hint of the flavor, so don't overdo the oregano. And now this is some cayenne pepper, because believe me, that little kick goes a long way with exciting your taste buds and making everything taste better. It really will make a difference. Now, what you see here is going to be pretty thick once we, put an immersion blender to it. And look, I have some basil. So the reason why I said that about being thick is because I'm going to add in, this is 2 cups of vegetable stock. And I'm going to add in about half of that right now. Yeah, that looks good. And then later we're going to add in a cup of cream. Hey, that looks good. Now, you don't have to wait to hit it with an immersion blender. So I'm going to go ahead and, well, you can. I'm going to let this cook for about 10 or 15 minutes. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit it with the immersion blender. And then we'll adjust our spices, add the cream in. So give me a few minutes to cook this down a little bit. And then we'll come back and we'll add the rest in. And it'll be ready to eat. You don't have to cook it forever. Woo! Got the fire turned off. We're going to hit this thing with the blender. Now this might take a few minutes, but I want it to be nice and smooth. There's one thing I wanted to remind you of while I'm doing this, and I use Better Than Bouillon. It is really good stuff. You do have to refrigerate it once it's open, but I have beef, chicken, vegetable, and it is so good. It's a really good product. Okay, I'm going to continue this until I'm really satisfied with the fact that it's really smooth. And this might take me another minute or two, so I'll be right back. Wow, the immersion blender did a good job. And it's nice and thick. So, I don't think I'm going to go in with that other cup of vegetable stock. By the way, I do want you to know that we do make our own vegetable stock. When I have onion pieces left over and carrots and little pieces of bell pepper or whatever, I put that in a bag in the freezer. And when I get enough, I make my own vegetable stock. But today I just wanted to use the Better Than Bouillon because I know I like it. And sometimes you don't want to have to thaw out that big frozen container of vegetable stock that you made. So that's why I chose to not go that route today. But the soup is ready for the next step. So good. I'm going to add in the cream. Now watch the color change. It's going to get a little bit lighter. Look at that. Oh boy. Oh man, that looks so pretty, I'm telling you. Okay, so let me taste it again. I do need that's about a half a teaspoon, maybe, no, I think that was about half a teaspoon again of salt and pepper. Oh man, it tastes so good. Oh my God, that is so good. And I do remember the last time I made it, and it wasn't for a video, I made it for myself, for Pam and I did put about a tablespoon of brown sugar in. And I forgot to put it out. And you know what? It tastes great, so why actually have to have the sugar when you don't need it? That is so good. That is very good. This is what you call salt and pepper to taste. So you just need to put the salt and pepper in until you're happy with it. But the salt especially helps to bring out the flavor of everything else. You don't want too much salt. You just want enough, just enough. That's very good. And you know what? If somebody else wants a little more salt, they can add it to their own bowl, right? So here's where we are. We brought it up to a simmer. I turned the fire off because I'm going to simmer this, and I mean a low, low simmer for probably about 20 minutes with the lid on, while Pam is going to come over here and make her famous, and I call it that because I love her grilled cheese sandwich. She's going to come show you how to make a grilled cheese sandwich in just a minute. So I'm going to change everything over and we'll be right back. Love you guys. And by the way, while we're doing this, take a moment and hit the thumbs up. You know, that's the like button. And if you haven't, subscribe to our channel, please. Share our videos. If you love us, we love you. And hit the notification bell. That way you'll know when we come out with all our new videos. So we're gonna turn the set around to grilled cheese and we'll be back in a minute.
This is how I make my grilled cheese sandwiches. I take a nice soft butter and I butter up my little bread like this and get it good because you want it to get nice and toasted and grilled. So then I put this on the other side, and that way when I do this side I know it's going to match up. So I'm going to put butter on this side, and that way when I flip it over I've got grilled on both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one, and in the meantime we're going to go ahead and turn my little skillet on to get one side nice and grilled, and then we're going to add the cheese. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and do this up. Let me make sure my skillet is on really good. Oop, that skillet's going to be hot. So we're going to put our first piece of bread down. And it's going to be, I can hear it sizzling already. So we're going to go ahead with our cheese. We're going to use some American cheese, which is always good. And then some pepper jack. I love pepper jack because it's nice. It gets nice and creamy. It gives you that little kick, and with the tomato basil soup, it's going to give you a little kick. So we're going to put this side. We're going to put the butter side up, and you just want to let that to get nice and toasty on one side. It's going to get grilled, and as it's getting grilled and the heat gets to it, the cheese is going to melt, and then we're going to flip it over, and it's going to be good. So takes just a few minutes on each side, 3 to 4 minutes on each side. And while the butter's melting, I'm just going to spread it out a little bit. And we just got to wait a minute and just press it down. Okay, let's try it. Let's flip it over. Ooh, good. Let's toast it on the other side. And that cheese is going to melt. Right now I can turn the heat down. Good old grilled cheese sandwich. My mom used to say, I'm gonna make you a grilled cheese sandwich. So she'd take 2 pieces of bread, put it in the toaster, and she'd put a piece of American cheese on the top, and she'd take it out and she'd smush it down. And she says, there's a grilled cheese sandwich. To me, that's not a grilled cheese sandwich. So to me, this is a grilled cheese sandwich. So I'm gonna go ahead and press it down a little bit, test it on the other side, and guess what? This is a good sandwich. So we're going to take it out, set it over here, and we're going to slice it up to go with our tomato basil soup.
Oh, honey, look how creamy and beautiful that tomato basil soup is. Isn't
it looks
that wonderful?
Great, especially now that it's getting cold outside. That's going to be so good.
That's going to be a good soup for cold weather, I'm telling you.
So you give it a try.
Oh, I can't wait. You know what I like? I like to get one of those basil leaves because it just has a burst of basil flavor.
Which I love. It's good. Oh. Guess what?
Oh, this is outstanding.
I want to do something different.
Okay.
I want to take my grilled cheese sandwich and I want to dip it in there.
That looks good.
That's, my mom used to make tomato soup and always had a grilled cheese sandwich. So.
Oh, yeah. So how's that pepper jack, honey?
That's good.
It's really good? Hey, look. I'm gonna dip it now. Let's see.
And we used the pumpernickel rye swirl bread, which was so different than just using white bread or wheat bread.
Oh, that is
Really good. Really
that
good.
is really, really good. Forgive me for
Dipping in again.
So I know what I'll be eating for the next couple of days, okay? The tomato basil soup is outstanding, even if I don't have a grilled cheese sandwich. The soup is amazing, and the grilled cheese sandwich is great too. Don't forget to do both of these. Don't forget that the ingredients and the instructions to this whole recipe will be in the description, right?
That's right.
And don't forget to please subscribe to our channel.
Give us a thumbs up, like.
Thumbs up, that's a like. Subscribe if you haven't. If you had, we love you. Okay? Thank you so much for helping us with our YouTube channel. So go get this recipe, make this soup. The weather's getting cold and it's great anytime. But as we always say, God bless you.
God bless you.
Let me rephrase. Let me do that over again.